Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Nerd Bites Weekly Show. This is episode number 22. I am your host, DC. And as always, I have my best buddy, Cohron, joining me. What's up, Cohron?
Nothing much, man. Just telling you how intense I can be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Also, some not so intense people in that way, but intense in my love for them. We have Phillip.
Hey, guys.
Who's been on the show before in person.
Exactly one time.
One time.
So,
and then also been on the show exactly one time is
just once.
Another best buddy, Cohron. What's up, Cohron?
Not much, man. Not much. I was gonna say, like, I was gonna make a joke about like sacrificing my Friday night to be here, but I had like fuck all for plans, so I can curse, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Nope. Nope. Every time you curse, you owe me $5.
Episode is ruined.
I'm gonna owe you a lot of money in the next hour.
All right, everybody, keep track.
Just do a deposit of $150.
Yeah, probably around there.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, so this is Cohron's second time being on the show. Cohron from Friends with Benefits podcast, which had 2 episodes this week.
2 episodes this week. Flanagan was supposed to be at a concert, and it got rescheduled, so Justin and I were going to take over, and then Flanagan, we got our wires mixed, and Flanagan recorded something too, so... yeah. If you're going to listen to one, listen to mine.
Duh.
Was yours the one with the action figures or the other one? I haven't
Other
listened
one.
to them yet. Okay, gotcha.
Other one, yeah. Justin and I just kind of ranted about... it started off with like things that aren't for you, like in shows you like quit on and that kind of stuff.
That. Okay.
And I went on this massive rant about how like I tried on 3 separate occasions to get into the show Once Upon a Time and just couldn't do it.
Okay.
Because that show fucking sucks. That's 2.
Flubbed it.
I was going to say, that was 3 minutes. I bet, just so you guys know, I said it was going to take 4 minutes for him to put on that headband.
Keep talking. I'm putting on the headband.
And then, like we also, we talked about our love for physical media and a few other things, but like, yeah, I love doing shows with, Flanagan's my dude and it's our baby, but like if he's unavailable, like I love doing shows with Justin. So is that thing as uncomfortable as it looks?
No, it's actually not that uncomfortable at all.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just annoying that I have to take my headset off to do it every time. Oh, yeah, I knew it was coming. All right, so we have a big show for you tonight. We've got a very special announcement in the second half of the show. We're going to talk Star Wars because today is Revenge of the 5th. And yesterday was Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you.
Hey, yesterday was also the debut of the song All-Star by Smash Mouth.
Oh, my God.
Good to know. I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
Cohron. But also, I'm going to Chicago this weekend. I was in Kansas City last weekend, and about Kansas City, we got Alan and Sal both in the chat, who I both met in Kansas City. So Alan and I went to the draft together and hung out. Sal and I met up with. He met Alan as well. We went to an arcade bar in downtown Kansas City. It was awesome. It was called Up Down Bar. And it was 2 levels, which was really cool. And they had like an outside area. And Sal says, "Who's Sal?" And it was a lot of fun. But speaking of Sal, Sal and I played in. We played a best 2 out of 3 in Street Fighter. And it was really close, but I did win. We went round 1. It was I forget who he played, but I think he was Ryu and I was Ken, and I just kept Hadokening him the whole time.
Ryu and Ken.
Yeah. And then round 2, I can't remember who I played as, but he beat me round 2, and then round 3 I played as Blanca. And I was just doing crazy Blanca things. And I got a good grapple on him, and that really screwed him up. And that was what ultimately won it for me because, Blanca. But E Honda and Ken was round 2. Oh yeah, because I could still play as Ken because it was a elimination style. So if you won as the character, you could stay as the character. But if you lost at it, you couldn't play it again. So
okay.
which was cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was it Street Fighter 2?
Yeah, it was Street Fighter 2 Rainbow Edition. Which
There's like 900 editions of that game.
Literally we both said that. We're like, I've never seen this before, and then we both talked about how that there's just too many editions of that game.
Yeah, I think
Sal said DC cheated, and
yeah.
the first thing that popped up in my head was the only way that DC can cheat is if he goes, I love you, I love you, I love you, while kicking your ass, and it throws you off.
Literally, he's just salty, but it's fine. Alan and I don't know how close this will hit with some folks, but he talked to Jamar Chase at the bar that we went to. We went to eat this place called Jack Stack. It was a barbecue place, and there was just a bunch of athletes there. I held the door open for Emmett Smith, and I didn't even realize that I did it until after the fact. And like, that was one of those where like I don't bother athletes or anything like that if they're out in public, but that was an occasion where I would have been like, can I please shake your hand? Because he was like, childhood hero for me, man. Dallas Cowboys. But yeah, it was a fun time. It's a fun city. It reminds me a lot of Cincinnati, but like the downtown area does. So good food. Yeah.
I want to, you just reminded me of a story that I want to share.
Let's do it. Story time.
This was when Phillip and we went to an Eagles of Death Metal concert.
Nice.
And I saw the Santa Claus of Rock and Roll, and I was like, Phillip, we have to go get a picture. And just so mental image, you walk in and then it split up, this way, and vendors were on this side and kind of this side, and then it opened down to the main floor, and then the second floor is where technically you came into, and it was standing room. So if we had tickets technically on standing room, this side, on the right side. And if you kept going back further, it ended up into bathrooms. And just behind the bathrooms, through this hallway, you can see it's open. We saw the Santa Claus of Rock and Roll. And I was like, Phillip, come on, we have to go take a picture. We have to go take a picture. And I ran. I was like, well, I'm leaving. Bye. I'm going to go take a picture. I'm going to go try and get a picture with this dude. And just as I ran in, they put up a gate because people, a few people like me noticed. And I go up and I have my phone out, and there's this white girl, and she had blonde hair. She was very skinny. She was wearing a red beret with a striped shirt, very pretty. And I said, would you mind if you take a picture, of me with him? And she kind of gave me this look okay.
Huh.
And so we take a picture. I go out to my spot with Phillip, and I'm like, look at the picture. And he saw everything. They get on stage, and it was a traveling bassist with them that took my picture.
Wow.
Wow. That took my picture. And that's the face she gave, was
that's
okay.
That's a good story. That's hilarious.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. I just stood there. They opened up the song, and I think it was, what was it? I want to say Stuck in the Middle with You, the cover.
Yeah.
Hey,
and I couldn't move because I was like, how embarrassing.
Speaking of
this
bitch
bands. Is on stage playing music going, fuck that bitch.
It probably was her motivation. She probably shredded the whole show.
Right.
Oh, she killed it.
Yeah.
I mean, they all killed it, but she did really good.
Yeah, she was so pissed.
Probably she was offended. Looking back, I offended her, and I didn't mean to.
That's
she was
amazing.
She was also probably pissed because she was playing music with the Eagles of Death Metal, but...
Whoa! What?
Hey, come on. I like the one guy from Queens of the Stone Age. What's his name?
Josh Homme?
He's the lead singer.
Yeah, Josh Homme.
Yeah.
Josh Homme, however you say his name.
Yeah, that dude's super talented. You don't like Queens of the Stone Age? Well, it's okay to be wrong. But anyway.
Yeah, people can have opinions to their shit sometimes.
Co-wrong is co-wrong.
Oh, God damn it. God damn it.
Shots
Hate
fired,
that.
baby.
Speaking
Hate
of
that.
speaking of bands, this weekend, Wifey and a couple of our friends are going to go see Blink-182 and Turnstile in Chicago on Sunday on Wifey's birthday.
Ooh.
Nice.
If anyone knows my wife, please wish her a happy birthday Sunday. She is an excellent woman and a queen, and I love her dearly. So
I also love her.
yeah,
Same.
Pretty great.
everyone does. Let's be honest, she's the best.
Yeah.
She is.
And go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, just keeping on that music train real fast.
Yeah.
Foo Fighters announced their 11th album.
Jesus.
And this is their first album since Taylor Hawkins passed away.
Ooh.
They haven't announced
Rough.
who their drummer is yet,
Yep.
but the album comes out at the beginning of June, and I am very excited. Their single is out, and I cried like 5 times listening to it. It's
Nice.
powerful, and it's really good. Also, I'm just
Did-
emotional. So like,
Did they say they have a new drummer?
no, they haven't even announced that they have a
Okay.
drummer, and I don't think they're going to. I think
Yeah.
they might go the route of having like a rotating, touring drummer.
Sal is so stupid. He said,
I know.
well,
I
you'll-
was just about to read that.
He said, well, you'll be excited to learn I am the new drummer. Buddy, I don't know if you can live
Free
up to
ticket,
Taylor
right,
Hawkins'
Sal?
legacy. I'm sorry to
Oh
say.
man, he couldn't. No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Sal, you can serenade me with drums. I'll go deaf for you.
He's gonna play the Jack Black drums on his belly in Orange County.
What a good movie.
It is.
What a good movie.
With Chet Hanks. I mean, sorry, not Chet Hanks, the other Hanks.
He said, "Never mind, I quit."
Colin Hanks and Harold Ramis. Egon's in it.
Yeah. All right, so that's enough diverging.
For now.
For now.
Yeah.
There are a few things to talk about. The main topic of our show tonight is going to be Star Wars. But I do want to talk about some other things. So sci-fi related. First of all, the B-Shell poll, the last poll is running this weekend before the main bracket starts because the play-in bracket is finishing today. This was the last 2 matchups were today for the play-in bracket. So I'm really sad because Men in Black is going up against Safety Not Guaranteed, and Safety Not Guaranteed is an excellent freaking movie, but Men in Black is just, classic. So
Timeless.
yeah.
Is that
Aubrey Plaza.
Mark, what's his name from the league?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know his name.
What's
but
his
yes.
damn name?
Yeah, that's the one. But anyway, the Dune trailer came out, staying on the sci-fi wave, the Dune Part II trailer. So who wants to watch it?
I do.
Okay,
I do.
let's watch it together.
All right, I'm gonna
Okay.
fall asleep during this.
It's breathtaking.
Okay. You can fall asleep really fast. Holy cow.
When you see sand here, imagine water. If you dive in, you can't reach the bottom.
You dive in.
Yes, it's called swimming.
I don't believe you.
How much you want to bet that Timothy
In
Chalamet
the shadows
and
of Arrakis
what's her name?
lie many
I forget her
secrets.
name. How much you want to bet they're going to start dating
But
now?
the darkest of them all
And
may
Tom
remain.
Holland's going to be excommunicated.
Did they split? Did her and Tom Holland split?
No, but how much you want to
Before
bet that's
the
going to happen
completed
now that Chalamet is they're getting all frisky in this movie?
What if Paul Atreides were still alive?
It's the way of celebrities,
Take that bet. I don't think they're gonna split.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome if they didn't. I want Spider-Man to always be with Mary Jane.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a dream about your first ride?
So,
Oh, this looks so good.
Don't try to impress anyone. You're brave.
I like how the one thing they're spoiling everyone knew was coming after the first movie, so it's not really a spoiler at all.
Direct.
Spoilies, no spoilies.
Hey, I saw Dune.
God damn it.
Well, Wifey just informed me that Timothy Chalamet is dating Kylie Jenner.
That's unfortunate.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for him.
Is anybody counting how many Dunes are in this movie?
So many dunes.
Nothing fancy.
Because I counted at least 2.
Sal says, since Tom Holland is playing everyone, he can play his own girlfriend. that's amazing. Oh, Sal. We got to get Sal on the show one day.
Lose me, Paul Atreides.
I mean, regardless of what you think of the
We
first
gave you
one,
something
and I
to
get,
hope for.
like, it's a setup movie, so it's, like, not perfect. You know, it's not, like, the most exciting thing ever.
And shatter.
This looks pretty damn good.
You know, I have yet to read any of the books.
I've never read a book. Not a single book in
Ever?
my life. I don't read books. I can't read.
It's crazy that
You
you're
touch
able
it
to just
and you
guess
just
what everybody's saying
understand
in
the
the chat.
story.
Like you beat me to the joke. So like
Aw.
nice self burn like before I could get there. Like
Oh, dude, you know
very
me.
well done. Yeah.
You got to make fun of yourself. It's not fun.
Oh,
for me.
absolutely.
With my hands above my head. Dance, my hands. I wish there was a way to make everyone hear this, but alas,
They need
there's
to be
not.
paying attention to the thing.
Yeah, I mean, people watching the stream can hear it, but you guys can't hear it. So
Yeah.
They're just looking at us like, what the fuck?
These guys are crazy.
yeah.
We're on a different type of drug.
Thoughts on the Dune trailer?
I have none, except I saw Dunes.
Yeah, I mean, I'll see it, like, but I don't know. The first movie, like you said, it was like a lot of setup, and the first movie had Return of the King syndrome for me, where I thought the movie was ending like 4 different times.
Yeah, for sure. I get that.
But you know,
Listen.
I'm sure I'll see it.
Chris, we've talked about Lord of the Rings a little bit, and I want you to take that back a notch and be more loving.
We need to have a Lotor show too. Add that to the list, Ketsorin.
Ugh.
We've got a running list. You need to add it to the list.
Sharpie, paper.
So I will say, it does feel like the first movie was a little bit like not as effective as it could have been, because that same setting, Mad Max Fury Road, did such an excellent fucking job that, like, that close together, it felt like, okay, we've had the best of this world. What else is there to have? Like Guillermo del Toro just hit an absolute home run with that movie, and I don't know. It's
Del Toro didn't do
what?
Mad Max Fury Road. No, it was the same dude who did all the other Mad Max movies.
I thought it was del Toro, dude.
No.
Hold on. I'm losing my mind.
I will bet you $1,000 Guillermo del Toro didn't do that movie. He did Blade 2, so I'm fairly
George
familiar
Miller.
with his
I'm such
catalog.
an idiot. George Miller. I don't know why I said Guillermo del Toro. George Miller. Jesus Christ. I'm losing my
You
mind,
just lost
guys.
$1,000.
It's
Dude.
okay.
That's that dad
You're
brain.
doing your
Dude,
best.
oh my God, I'm losing my mind. I don't know why I would thought that. I guess I really don't know why. Anyway, moving on. But yes, George Miller did such an amazing amazing job with that movie. It felt like that, you know, we've got the best of that type movie. Sal says, I remember when my grandpa had me watch Fellowship with him at home. We got the 3-disc DVD set. Well, that's the extended version. And we spent like an hour watching all the discs because we thought we were missing the second part of the movie.
Huh?
I don't understand.
That's okay, Sal. Retry. But I do, since we
Yeah.
are kind of like going back to Lord of the Rings,
Okay.
I want to announce, and this is an achievement. My mother, D&D mom, finally watched the extended editions of Lord of the Rings. all
Okay.
3, and she watched the extended versions of The Hobbit. And she liked them. She liked The Hobbit more than Lord of the Rings. She said,
Gross.
quote, I like Lord of the Rings without Frodo.
What?
I don't get it.
What?
So, she didn't like Frodo at all. Like the whole time I'm reminding her, remember, you have to keep this and this and this and this in mind. And she's like, I understand, but I like it without him.
Well,
He was
Samwise
a crybaby.
Gamgee is the best Lord of the Rings
He's the
character.
absolute
She totally
hero.
recognizes
Yeah.
that.
It's a
But
weird
she's
way
like,
to say Pippin.
So just so you guys know, that is a huge achievement.
Can't even say that
We
with a
spent
straight face.
hours watching this.
Well,
So-
I'm proud of her. That's awesome. The only good Hobbit movie, in my opinion, was the one that people liked the least. Battle of the Five Armies. That was the one to me that stayed
I'm gonna
most
have
true
to
to the
give.
Hobbit book.
I'm just baffled about how you made 12 hours of movie out of 200 pages of book.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Felt weird to split that into a trilogy. I don't know why you don't just do that as a single shot, but it would've been
As
lot
a
better.
single, 3-hour movie, and you're done.
Yeah, for sure. It would have been much better.
Sal said, what
yeah,
I
go ahead.
meant was Fellowship left on such a cliffhanger, we thought the rest of the movie was one of the extra discs.
That makes more sense.
Gotcha. Makes
You
sense.
finally got there. Good
Okay.
job, Sal. I'm proud of you, buddy.
Claps for Sal. Everyone clap for Sal. He used a lot of brain cells to formulate that sentence, so love you, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, so one more little tidbit of news, and then we'll talk Star Wars the rest of the time. So there was this really dumb quote from Warner Brothers that surfaced this week, and
yeah.
I just don't get it. Like, this has to be the dumbest quote from a big movie production company of all time. So let's bring it up on screen here. Quote, people will forget that the Flash production designer, people will forget that. Okay, so God, I don't know why they just didn't give the whole quote up front, but so people will forget that. They're saying that the Flash production designer claims fans will forgive Ezra Miller after movie release. Hence, troubled actor might return for sequel. So
It's 2023.
Jesus.
You get canceled, you don't get to come back.
They're trying to cancel the cancellation, you guys. This is what that looks like.
But this is the most
squared
bizarre thing ever, because it's one thing to not like cancel culture. It's another thing for someone to literally kidnap someone and get arrested for it and then still keep their job.
Yeah, to commit multiple felonies.
Found guilty of said felonies. It's not just these were allegations. These are real things that happened.
Right.
And
no,
I'm so confused. I'm baffled by this. I don't have words for how stupid this is.
People
wasn't really going to go see the Flash movie anyways. It just I don't care for Ezra Miller as an actor. But now I'm actively going to go out of my way to not see this movie. It's just I can't support something like that. That's so asinine. I just can't.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to pirate it. I mean, sorry.
Oh, okay.
I can't say that out loud, can I? I'm going to sell the high seas.
Right.
But Michael Keaton is Batman.
That's
again.
why. That's exactly why. But I cannot support this movie with my money. I just cannot. First of all, I thought it was a bad casting job initially. I was against Ezra Miller as the Flash to begin with, especially when you have Grant Gustin, who is already doing an amazing job as the Flash.
He's been killing it.
Say what you want about that show. It gets bad at times for sure. But him as the Flash, he is Barry Allen. He is spot on Barry Allen. You can tell that guy has read comics to prepare for that role, because he his mannerisms and shit is exactly like Barry Allen in the comics. So I was very frustrated with that from the jump, and people were like, "Oh, he's so funny." I'm like, "Yeah, Barry Allen's not the comic relief. He's literally not. He's a serious guy. He's into science and shit. He's not goofy, oh, I'm gonna trip over my shoelaces and blah 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 blah. That's not him. Oh my god, dude, when he does that run that you just showed right there, it's the dumbest shit I have ever seen in my life. When he's swimming through the air, what is that? Who thought that was a good idea?
I mean, the same people that made Justice League and the David Ayer Suicide Squad and
Batman vs Superman, and the third act of Wonder Woman.
The people that made Wonder Woman 84, it's not like they have a history of good decisions with the DCEU so far.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. But still, it's so disheartening, man. They're ruining what all nerds love. You know what I mean? Everybody loves Batman. true nerds love the Flash, like stuff like that. Like,
just their animated stuff. Their DC's animated stuff is
it's
pretty
been
much perfect.
Yeah,
On
Yeah.
point.
Just stop with the live action and just stick with the animated.
Yeah, but they won't, because there's not enough money in animation, and there's tons of money in live action. So, although I feel like
I'm just gonna go.
Speaking of animation and such, let's talk about Star Wars.
Oh, good segue. That was nice.
What specifically are we talking about animation in Star Wars?
Star Wars Visions just came out, the second season, yesterday on May the 4th.
I've been told I need to watch that show.
You absolutely do. For those of you who have never watched Visions, there's already 2 seasons out. Season 1 came out last year, 2 years ago, I think. 2 years ago. And
2 years ago.
2 years ago. And it's an anthology. So what's cool about it is it's just like Death, Love, and Robots, where it's, if you've ever seen that on Netflix, where a different studio does every episode, and it's all like standalone stories. And the first season was mostly anime studios. This season, there's animation studios from all across the globe, including the studio that does Wallace and Gromit. And I did watch that episode, and it was hilarious. It's like episode 3 or 4 or something like that. I took notes. I'm on like episode 8. So once I watch it all, I want to come on here and talk about it. So Kit Soren, you're gonna have homework.
I have homework?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Whoa. What's my hope? I have to watch this now? No, I have to watch. No, I was reading, but I have to watch Visions now.
Oh yeah, you would love it. Trust me.
It's Star Wars. It's not a
all
tour
of it?
or anything.
Is it on Disney Plus?
Yes.
No, it's on the other streaming service that Disney owns.
Do I have a due date? Because if I have, I'll tell you what. Like, I'm that person. If you don't give me a due date, I'll put it off.
Well, okay, I'll give you a due date.
Cool.
We'll talk about it after the show, but
okay.
So let's talk Star Wars. So, first of all, do you all have any Star Wars traditions that you like to celebrate on Star Wars Day on May the 4th / May the 5th? Because I usually celebrate all weekend. And while you guys talk about that, there's actually a calendar of someone made. I'm gonna have to bring it up here, search for it, where it's like every day.
Oh, that you just watch Star Wars?
Well,
Star Wars every
it's
day?
every day in May. They have, like, you know how it's like May the 4th be with you, and then like Return of the 6th.
Revenge of the 5th.
Revenge of the 5th, Return of the 6th, stuff like that. They've got one for like every day in May, so I'm gonna have to look it up. And then you guys talk about what your traditions are for Star Wars Day, and I'll go last.
I have none.
It's ridiculous.
I would also say that I don't have any also. I recognize it. I say May the 4th be with you, or Revenge of the 5th, but this year I didn't really do anything.
I listened to All Star by Smash Mouth that day.
I also listened. I listened to Smash Mouth this morning and this afternoon.
You listened to it like half an hour before we even got on.
This is true. I listen to Smash Mouth way too much.
A lot.
I have the reverberated, like, slowed down version of All Star. Like.
Oh yeah.
And it's
wild.
Anyway.
Well, I guess I'm the only one that has any sort of Star Wars tradition for Star Wars Day.
Well, I do too, but
well, I mean, like, you know what I mean. Besides you,
he wakes up, he gets ready, he puts on Star Wars.
No, I sincerely do. I start my day early and I watch the original trilogy. I just sit down and watch it. So, and then after that, of course, I have to continue through and I watch the prequel trilogy and then I watch the sequel trilogy. It's all Star Wars, and it is Star Wars month, and so I'm going to consume all of it again.
Now, do you ever do, are you going to start, what the fuck is the word I'm trying to think of? Chronological. Are you considering going chronological and doing 1, 2, 3 Solo, Rogue One, OG trilogy?
So I've already done that. And most of it. I haven't done it with Mandalorian. I've done 1, 2, Clone Wars movie, Clone Wars. I haven't found the chronological order of Clone Wars yet, though, and that's really just, it seems taxing. I just want to watch Star Wars.
I'm going to
Episode
interrupt
3.
too and say Homeboy watches Star Wars all the time, and also
All the time.
specifically during the winter months when there's nothing to do and it's a cold outside. He will go home and he's like, you know what? And he'll like come over, pick up his dog, whatever, you know, he'll visit and then go, I'm gonna go home and watch the next movie because I'm watching it chronologically twice to make sure I don't miss anything, even though I've watched it before. Like,
Yeah.
Hey, it me.
It's true.
I'm
That's it.
similar, especially the cold months like you're talking about. There's two things I really like to do during the cold months: watch Star Wars stuff and play Skyrim.
Eat.
No. Like once it gets cold, that's the time I use to catch up on like all the horror shit I've missed from like the spring and summer months when I'm out
I
drinking.
think that's the perfect time to watch horror movies.
It is. It's really a good time, for sure.
There's never a bad time to watch horror movies, though. Let's just call this what it is.
No,
Says the guy in the Return of the Living Dead
like
t-shirt.
listening to the Pixies. The Pixies is best for the winter, spring months. But if you listen to the Pixies during summer and fall, it doesn't quite sit as well.
That's fair. We are entering like what I call like surf punk season, where like I listen to a lot more like Expendables and Pepper and that kind of stuff.
This is ska season. Let's be real.
It's always ska season, though.
That's true. That's
so anyway, Philip. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I mean,
you got the chronological shit going on.
The original trilogy, and then I just continue with more Star Wars until I'm done.
So, all right. Mine is I always try to pick a different movie every year that to watch on Star Wars Day. But I always watch a Star Wars movie. I usually watch like a couple episodes of a Star Wars show. So like Visions this year, obviously, because it dropped on May the 4th. I always play KOTOR. If I don't have a save file that I'm working on already, which I typically do, then I'll start up a new campaign.
Nice.
Did you buy that limited run Switch edition they put out?
I wish I did, but
I sent you that link like 3 times.
I know, man, but I'm poor.
Dustin, you slacking. You sound like me. No due date.
I do have it on Switch though. That's what I've been playing it on. I have it everywhere you can get it, actually. So
nice.
Yeah,
I like that.
But yeah, that's what I do. Nothing crazy. Oh, I always listen to a Star Wars audiobook too, like on my commute and like at work that day. So I'm almost done with the High Republic book, number 1. So that's what I'm listening to currently. So
nice.
Yeah, very nice.
It's okay. It's been okay.
Yeah,
I think that sounds great.
Yeah, I finished that a couple weeks ago, and it's not the best writing ever, but it's more Star Wars and it's a different take.
They introduced some things. I think it's like imperative for like the overarching lore for sure.
Philip, why don't you text Dustin what to look up, because I do want to kind of segue since we are talking about this. And it's pertinent because Philip came over and he was like, I am so sad and also so excited about this. Sad because he can't get it right now because it's already sold out, and excited because this dropped. So Philip,
so
if you could
Lego does this whole big thing for Star Wars Day as well. They announced new sets coming out and new collector's editions and like the UCS sets, and they released anniversary edition of a micro scale set of the Executor, Darth Vader's flagship from Empire Strikes Back.
That's amazing.
And it's so awesome. It looks so freaking sweet. I'll send you a link here in a second. But it's $70 and they released it yesterday, already sold out. And it's just, and I mean, like, I'm not surprised because it's super awesome, but man, I'm so bummed that I can't get it yet.
Yeah.
And
my birthday's coming up here soon, so maybe, who knows?
Hey. Oh, I forgot to mention, another tradition I have is, I always buy a couple of Star Wars action figures on Star Wars Day.
Nice.
Usually one for Star Wars Day and one for Revenge of the Fifth. So I like to get a Sith and I like to get a Jedi or something on the one day.
I mean, I ordered stuff that had 1-day delivery off Amazon yesterday. Does that count?
Was
It was
Star
not
Wars
Star
stuff?
Wars related. No.
Oh,
No.
no.
Well,
Did it make you feel bad or good?
Who? Cohron?
Yeah, go run. Did it make him feel bad or good?
Yeah.
Which one?
Better and good. I've
Okay.
got a movie I've been wanting to
It counts
revisit.
as a fourth. May the fourth be with you.
Sal says High Republic Chapter 1. We get high again. We got high again. That's funny. But they just announced recently they're releasing more KOTOR Black Series figures, and I pretty much exclusively get Black Series figures, the 6-inch ones.
Yeah.
And they announced Malik and Bastila, so obviously I pre-ordered both of those. So.
Oh shit!
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Very excited about those.
Did you send him the link so that he can pull it up?
I sent him the link, yeah.
Okay.
I sent it on your phone, though.
Yeah, don't do that. I can't.
Well, I did it. Too late.
Hold on. I'll just look it up.
Yeah, do that.
All right. So quickly, while I do this, what is everyone's favorite Star Wars movie?
I'll go first, I guess. Empire Strikes Back. It's my favorite one.
Okay.
We're familiar with the characters. We know their troubles and their plights, and we get to see them taken down a peg. They don't win at the end of the movie. A lot of them lose some more than just their ego.
True.
The score is incredible.
Also true.
It's good to see the beginnings of that twist, not twist, of that strain between Vader and Palpatine, as they're both starting to think about undermining the other. And it just leaves on a great note at the end of the movie. You're like, how are they going to survive this? How's the good guys going to win? Because they're essentially kicked out of the galaxy. Like,
yeah, that
doesn't really.
That final shot at the end of that movie where Luke is with Leia and looking out of the big window.
Yeah.
It's like literally like the whole depiction there is like, how the fuck are we going to win?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just crazy. It's so beautiful. I love it so much. I think it's tied for the best Star Wars movie. It's not personally my favorite. It's my second favorite. Personally, my favorite is The Force Awakens, as many of you know. And the reason is because it got so many people I know into Star Wars. And I love Rey so much. I think she was such a perfect introduction character that was squandered, and I really hope they redeem her with this standalone movie coming out.
Yeah.
Because I've talked about this at length, but I want to bring it up here. Phillip, you and I have had conversations with this like crazy, but if Rey had been left as a nobody and, she had all those force powers, and you could say, hey, a nobody can be a somebody, like can be like the most powerful being. Like if you send that message, like, how important that is, especially if it's a female that's happening to. Like, how much kind of representation has that had in film and like big film ever? That like a nobody could be a somebody, especially if you're a female. Like, I think that would have been such a powerful message, and they ruined it. Oh, she had to have a Palpatine bloodline. She has to be a somebody to be that powerful. It was very frustrating. I loved her character so much. I think Daisy Ridley knocked it out of the park in that like kind of naive, like I don't know what I'm doing, but like I'm just inherently a good person type role. Like I just think that she killed it, and it's such a shame they ruined it. But that's my favorite.
I'm gonna say Rogue One. Shit is just fucking bleak at the end, and
a lot of people say Rogue One. Morgan, my best friend, he also says Rogue One. Sal just said Rogue One.
Just the overall cast of that movie is stacked. Mads Mikkelsen, Forrest Whitaker. Oh my gosh,
what's his name? The guy that's like he's the commander he's the Imperial commander. What's his name?
Yeah.
He's in a ton of stuff too. I can't think of his name.
I'm blanking on.
He's the guy
someone
that's like interrogating Mads Mikkelsen and stuff. That
yeah. Why couldn't I remember Donnie Yen's name?
Donnie Yen? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Ip Man.
Alan Tudyk. Yeah.
K2,
there's just so many good people in the movie, and like I've said this before, and Dustin, I think you and I have actually like talked about this, like that final scene with Vader just wrecking everyone, where you finally get him to be like, you finally get to see him be the Sith Lord he is.
You get comic book Vader. That's exactly what that is.
Like I've said, like you could have made that scene comedically long and just like had it be an impossible number of corridors for him to go through, and I still just would have been like,
okay.
Well, we'll do a small break. How about that?
That's
just
fine.
A quick. We'll consider it because I did see that it froze up and it says the broadcast you're watching has ended.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know what happened.
I'll say we'll be right back. Sorry.
No, I mean we're back. We're back live now. So.
Oh.
Yeah, I was just saying like we froze there for a second. But anyway, yeah, where were we? I was just saying that we finally got the comic book Vader, and
yeah.
What were you saying, Phillip?
Oh, just a part that made that scene itself stand out so well was there wasn't any hint of it. We didn't see any tease of Vader wrecking shop in the trailers. It was just boom, he's there, and he was this, forgive the pun, he was just this force, just plowing through these guys. You know what I mean? Like it was incredible.
Yeah, I wanna rank. At the end of the show, let's rank all the Star Wars movies. At the very end, let's come together and rank them all collectively and see what we can agree on. I think that'll be a fun exercise.
It'll be an extended exercise. But also with you jumping back with the message that anybody could be powerful in the Force, as Rey originally was written to be. I don't know if you're reading any of the Luke, the comic books involving Luke and Ben as their time together. But there's a scene as a flashback there. He's Luke is mentoring his Padawans that he's found, and one of them brings up like, why is Ben so much more powerful than me? Is it because he shares your blood? He's part of your lineage? And Luke says, it's not that he's more powerful naturally. It's just imagine the Force as a door, and the more you open it, the more potential you have.
Spiders
it's
come
just
out.
Some people start off with the door a little more open than others, but anybody could have that sliver be available and then have that door fully open. And so that message was that anybody could be great, was his message.
That's a good message because some people were born with a silver spoon, so to speak, and they could close the door with bad decisions. But there could be someone that just has a sliver of like a crack, like just some glimmer of hope, and they could hang on to that and blossom to be way greater than someone that's born with a silver spoon, so to speak. So Sal says, my door is hella closed.
Bolted.
It's all about perspective, my dude.
Oh no, he locked it.
He did it. Gotcha.
No, thank you, ghosts.
He saw what was on the other side of the door, and he said, "No, thanks."
Okay. So Rogue One. What about you, Kat Soren?
Today I feel like Revenge of the Sith, and this is why.
Okay.
I saw the meme where it said Obi-Wan, and he was wearing a sombrero.
Oh wow!
and then it was like, let me pull it up. Let me send it to you. Hold on. So today, this is what I feel like watching if I had to watch a Star Wars movie.
Okay.
Do you want me to share it in Discord or on Messenger?
Messenger, please. It's easier.
Okay, look.
Okay. Before I bring that up, I want to show the Super Star Destroyer, the Executor Super Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
Phillip
It just looks so sweet.
Dude, it does. All right, so it's up on screen right now for those of you.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's so killer.
And that looks slick.
Oh,
yeah, that's dope.
Like even as a micro scale thing, that it's like 1.5 feet long, so it's a good size to it, and it takes up space. But man, it looks so cool.
Yeah, that reminds me, I still have a Darth Vader head I need to put together. It's in my basement right now. I did the Boba Fett one. That was pretty cool.
Oh, I got the Boba Fett one too.
I also
it has the articulated helmet piece, which is cool.
Yeah. So I was just writing out all the movies. Are we including Rogue One and Solo? Or are we just ranking like the main?
Okay. Solo movies for sure.
Wait, pull up the meme. I'm not done talking about my favorite movies. Goddamn.
All right, here's the meme.
So quickly to dismiss Revenge of the Sith when I want to talk about this meme on Cinco de Drinko.
Kenobi. So stupid.
Look how stupid this is.
Same thing.
Damn it.
And you can hear it in his voice. That's what cracks me up. Is Senor Kenobi. Like, you can hear it. Like, so today it would be this. But I would say my overall favorite Star Wars movie is Empire Strikes. Okay. A large part of that is I grew up with it. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it on one of our, like, holiday, the December, tradition. Christmas tradition episode. That every Christmas, Phillip comes over and he puts on Star Wars, and he starts with A New Hope, and he keeps going through the original trilogy, but I always end up watching The Empire Strikes Back, or at least, like, really standing in and watching that movie. So that one would be my favorite. Okay. But today, it's Revenge of the Sith.
Which, that's the best one of the prequel trilogy.
It is.
And it is. Yeah. I mean, like, I have the high ground, and he smells like a burnt hot dog.
All right.
As overly
what?
As overly
I'm not wrong.
Choreographed as the final lightsaber battle is in that movie, it's still awesome. And how could you not love it?
You're not going to tell me that the first time you saw that, when they're going vroom 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 vroom, like doing that number, it wasn't cool.
Well, yeah, I was a kid.
You're going to tell me the first time.
I was a kid and I loved it then, and then I watched it when I was in college, and I was like, why the hell are they swinging this around like idiots?
Because it's cool, and it was a display of power.
It was a display of something.
I also don't really like how old that made me feel. I watched that when I was a kid. I think I was like 20 when episode 3 came out.
Well, I was in high school, so I was I was 15, I think.
Okay.
So, yeah. So we're not that much different in age.
Don't bring age. We're talking about the first time, and it was cool. And you're not going to tell me that the first time you saw it.
Touche. You're not wrong.
I'm writing out all the movies right now. So
yeah, I hate episode 1 so much. I forgot the fucking subtitle of it.
The Phantom Menace.
Yeah, no, like, I had to look it up. Like I completely blanked on it.
There's two things about the Phantom Menace though that I love. The music, especially the Duel of the Fates, which is maybe the best song in cinema history, if we're being completely honest.
That's a tall claim, but okay.
Dude, I mean, what's better?
Hey, no, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying there's a lot of movies.
For sure.
And there's a lot of really fantastic soundtracks for those movies.
John, I'm not saying soundtrack. I'm not saying scores. I'm saying that specific song. And John Williams is the best composer of all time. Let's be honest.
Yes, hands down.
I was going to make a Danny Elfman joke, but I got nothing. like I was going to make a Danny Elfman reference, but...
What's this? What's this? Let's see.
Fucking hate Nightmare Before Christmas.
I know you do, but I love it.
I know you do, buddy, and I love you anyway.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I didn't love it until my son loved it, and now I love it because of my son.
That's fair.
Yep.
I like it.
Because I used to not like it that much. I was like, this is kind of weird. And then
the first time I saw it, it was weird.
Yeah.
The first time I saw it, it was weird, and I was like, I don't understand. And the older I'm getting, I'm like, I'm okay with this. I can vibe with this.
It also,
it's on in the background now during Halloween.
It does grow on
It does. if you keep it on in the background at least, you know, and then that's how you start. For me, that's how it grew, you know.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't know how to do Roman numerals for episode 8.
VIII.
Is it? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, okay.
I took 3 years of Latin, so yeah.
3
Oh my
eyes.
God. Can you say D's
Yeah.
nuts in Latin?
No.
Got him.
I took Latin because it was the one you had to write and not speak.
Can
And
you
I was
write
like,
D's
oh.
nuts?
I was like, half the work. No, literally, like the only thing I've maintained from Latin is like Roman numerals.
3 years and all you maintained is numbers?
Those
Hey,
3
that's-
years had a lot of marijuana in
Is-
them.
And that's
That's
the years for
understandable.
that
A
one, those
lot of
numbers.
marijuana in them.
Is episode 9, is it IX? Am I right about
IX.
that? Oh, I
Yeah.
actually got one right. Let's go. All
There you
right,
go.
so I've got
I'm
them
proud of you,
listed
buddy.
all out here, but there's a couple more questions I want to ask before we rank it. So we did favorite movies. All right, what's your favorite TV show? Is it Mando? Just straight up?
Yeah.
No.
What's yours, Philip?
Oh,
I actually really love Rebels.
I do too. It's hard for me not to say Rebels because, especially because Mando wouldn't exist really without it.
Right.
But I just love what Mando has done for live action Star Wars.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. I loved seeing the struggle, the day-to-day struggle of normal people, and the day-to-day,
Yep.
the new day-to-day struggle of surviving Jedi.
Speaking
I
of
love
which,
seeing that struggle and how they came together to do something incredible.
can we talk about how good Andor was and like how underappreciated that show is?
I still need to watch that.
Oh my god, it's so good and like it.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Well, I'm just saying you could take Star Wars completely out of it and still be a great show.
No, I'm also changing my answer from Mando to the Tartakovsky Clone Wars.
Clone Wars, okay, I feel
That's a
that
good one.
it's really good.
I'm just a whore for everything that man does. So,
well, you're just a whore, but
wow.
You slut.
But only
I'm
for
just
me.
gonna stick with Mando because I haven't seen all the episodes. I haven't seen all of Clone Wars. I haven't seen all of Rebels. I haven't seen. The only thing that I can say that I've seen a full season of is Mandalorian.
The way that Filoni crafts his characters, especially in Rogue One, where it's just like he gives all these intimate details about their personalities and their pasts and like why they are the way that they are. It's like you feel like you know them completely, like that you've known them for years. And then like how he ends that show is just like the most heart-wrenching, gripping story told in animation history, if I'm being completely honest. Maybe outside of Avatar: The Last Airbender, which he worked on, by the way.
So, really not surprising that
Yeah.
both are Master Pie.
I don't know, that Futurama episode with the dead dog.
I've never seen it, but I know about it, unfortunately. It's pretty sad stuff. Okay, and lastly, Star Wars video game. KOTOR, obviously.
That's
for
the Old
me.
Republic.
KOTOR.
Yeah.
I'm an N64 guy. It's Shadows of the Empire.
Great game.
That's a great one.
Great game.
It's so good.
Great game.
Yeah,
We're divorcing.
I used to frequent the I used to frequent the cheap ass gamer web forums, and this guy did his post of like and what he referred to as the 10 worst N64 games, and he put Shadows of the Empire at number 10 and just got eaten alive because his
As he
entire
should.
review was, you liked this game when you're 8, you don't like it when you're 22. And it's just like, cool, great reasoning, dick.
Yeah.
That's dumb. That game was great. Nino
Elias just
Torpedo
said-
says,
Yes, N64 pod racing.
That
Phil,
shit was
do you
fun.
remember that?
It was
Oh,
fun.
yeah, I
No.
Like, it was,
Of course I remember.
"Deadass, that's a good game." Like,
yeah, it was fun.
Really,
Yeah.
that's
That was
a
a
good
very
game.
good game.
Did you see that they didn't remaster it? They just ported it over to Xbox.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
no. I would love to play that again because I remember there's so many memories with that.
That was like F-Zero before F-Zero was a thing.
F-Zero was a thing on the Super Nintendo.
Oh, well, sorry, the good F-Zero. The one for
The
GameCube.
GameCube one?
Yeah. Yeah, because Captain Falcon was in original Smash. So yeah, that's right. But still yet. It's still.
So I remember playing the Revenge of the Sith game a ton as a kid.
That was fun too, and also
I didn't
after
love
you beat
it,
the game,
but
I liked that after you beat the game, you could go back and play as Anakin in the final duel, and then
Yeah.
get a secret ending. I liked that. That was fun. I was like, oh, dope. Yeah.
That part was cool, but gameplay wise, there was definitely better games.
Oh, for
Okay,
sure.
I have to go off on a little side tangent. Do you want to know what the weirdest alternate ending in a game is?
Let's do it. I want to hear it.
And it's not the Silent Hill 2 dog ending. In the King Kong video game, the one based off the shitty Peter Jackson movie, there is an alternate ending where you don't die, and when you're playing as King Kong, and you just climb down the Empire State Building and just go about your life.
Oh,
look. That sounds like a happy ending to me.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't fit the story.
No, you know what's funny? That game actually was not bad. Like gameplay wise, it was pretty decent.
So I never played it, but my cousin and his two roommates, whenever like that, sometime around then, all had a contest about who could get their Xbox Live gamer score to go up the most.
Okay.
And Harry and one of his, I can't remember the other guy's name, were just decided like block out their third roommate, Rob. And they figured out that you could like 100% the King Kong game within like 3 hours and get like all 1,000 achievement points.
That sounds right.
So I thought for a minute you're
Sal
gonna
said
be
that game
like
is
in
ass.
Spaceballs. My cousin's roommates, best friends, brothers. Like, how does it go, Philip? Because I know you know this.
Oh, from Spaceballs, my
brother's
nephew's cousin's uncle's former roommate, or
I thought that's what you were gonna lead off with.
No.
I thought it was gonna be like this weird line.
My cousin's father's brother's nephew's former roommate, and then what does that make us? Absolutely nothing. All right.
Or you could
I thought that's what you're gonna lead off. I just want you to know, like that's why I was like.
You could do the Lion King. What does that make you, Scar? A monkey's uncle.
Just so you know, Sal said that game is ass.
Yeah, I already commented on that. Whatever, jerk. No, it's not inherently good, but gameplay wise, it actually was pretty decently technically sound, I thought. But all right, before we get to our special announcement, let's rank the Star Wars movies. Okay.
I am not. I don't have a good opinion on. I don't feel like I have a good opinion on this.
I feel like objectively, you almost have to go Empire at number one.
Okay, well, before we get to number one, let's rank them what we know as the worst. Can we all agree that The Rise of Skywalker is the worst?
No.
Really?
I would absolutely say Attack of the Clones is the worst.
Hold on. I need to. Can you pull up a picture or something, like just the cover, so I can see when I'm looking at Twitch, or I can pull them up, I guess, myself.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do it.
This will help me. Looking at pictures will help me, so I can remember everything.
So Sal agrees with me. Rise of Skywalker is the worst.
No, I would say. I would say Attack of the Clones is worse, and I would even say Phantom Menace is still worse than Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, Elias brings up a good point. He says use Tier Maker. I'm sure they already have one for this.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me look. It's all... Okay, here we go. It keeps including shows. I don't want shows. Oh my god, the posters they use for this are ass.
I'm gonna say that Attack of the Clones is the worst one.
Yeah.
Boom.
The best thing that we got out of that movie was I hate sand. It gets everywhere. And we can all relate to that. And that's the only thing that we could relate to.
Okay, well, we'll just use this one even though it's got the TV shows, because it's like it's got the actual movie posters, so we'll just ignore the TV shows.
Okay, let me turn this.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right, so you're saying that Attack of the Clones is the worst.
Yep. Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones is the worst one.
Yep.
The only good thing was about the sand, and we can all make fun of that. But it was not a good movie.
Okay.
Sal says we get Jango Fett, which I do agree. Jango Fett was pretty baller until.
Yeah.
But it was so minimal, and it was quick to an end that we didn't get anything really.
Oh, right. I'm just telling you what Sal said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my argument against. Like, yes, we did have a cool introduction, but it wasn't
really,
enough to satisfy me. Like, and you guys know more about Star Wars than I do. But
Okay.
I'm saying, like,
are we ranking it F, like worst, or D,
like,
not
worst?
good? Okay.
Worst.
No, it's
Worst.
For me, it's the worst.
Whatever the lowest one is, that's where Attack of the
Can
Clones
we
is.
also agree that The Rise of Skywalker is that level, but behind it?
Hold on.
No,
Like,
like
looking
because
at-
because
Attack of
Rise of
Clones
Skywalker
and
is
Rise of
better than
Skywalker?
Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Ugh, you guys.
Like
I would say
the
Rise of. Hold on. This is
the
trying to
only
remember.
saving grace about that movie, about Rise of Skywalker, is it has, to me, I think, the best lightsaber battle in all of Star Wars.
It has.
I thought that shot, the scene with Rey and Kylo fighting in the ocean, was like the most beautiful lightsaber fight ever. I will say that about it.
A good one. That's a good fight.
So we're putting that D, not good.
Yeah, this
I
is
would say
weird
D,
because
yeah.
we're gonna run out of spots before we run out of.
Well,
I would say it's. I would say it's.
well, that's what I'm
D.
saying.
It
We
was-
could just put it
it was-
behind it, and we know that we rank it a little higher.
I haven't watched it for
Oh,
the second
okay.
time, but I can say the first time that I did watch it, Philip and I looked at each other and we both did like a moment, like when everything hit. That like climax of the movie, like we both looked at each other and like, oh fuck, like this is really happening. So there was like emotion, at least for me, but thinking back to it and like what I can really remember from it, it's not that good of a movie. In my opinion, though, like the newest trilogy, I'm not a fan of it. I would prefer the original trilogy, and I would even prefer, the second trilogy.
Sal
But-
says Rise of Skywalker is a slap in the face to storytelling. 100% agree. It's the
I mean,
worst.
that's how, I would prefer watching 1, 2, and 3 over 7, 8, 9.
I disagree with that a lot.
I disagree with that. Yeah.
I think Rise of Skywalker suffers not only from the rushed storytelling of its movie, but from the lack of continued story points from the earlier movies.
Yes.
Each movie, and Dustin, you and I have talked about this extensively.
Yeah.
Each movie on their own, as a movie by themselves, it's a good movie. Really, there's nothing really to be expected. Force Awakens on its own is a good movie. The Last Jedi on its own, taking away the points brought up in Force Awakens,
that's the thing.
It's a good movie.
If
but as a trilogy, oh my god,
that's my biggest
ass.
argument for The Last Jedi. I actually really enjoyed The Last Jedi.
Me too.
Except for Canto Bite, that was hot garbage.
Yeah.
But I actually thought it was a really good Star Wars movie. But it didn't belong in the trilogy. It was I mean, Rian Johnson clearly didn't talk to anyone. He just did his own thing, and they had no direction to go for Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Well,
so
then
I don't
if
think
we're not gonna
inherently Rise of Skywalker suffers from storytelling because it's a bad story. I
It
think
does.
it just
Like,
well, I mean, but it had so many dropped plot points that it had to try to wrap up, and that's not inherently its fault, but it does suffer the most from it.
Right.
So
okay.
Well,
Go ahead.
With the Force, how about this as a thing? Since what about the Force Awakens taking that D or F spot? Because in my opinion, the Force Awakens was basically like a knockoff. Like it was taking the original trilogy and it being like, boop,
No,
we're
The
gonna
Force
use the
Awakens.
plot.
The Force Awakens is a perfect movie. It was a soft reboot. Everyone knows this, and it did what it was supposed to do.
I understand that it was supposed to do that, but it was crap.
You're saying The Force Awakens is crap?
Strongly disagree.
I left so disappointed. I asked Philip. I left so disappointed. Like,
yeah, she
if I wanted to see a Death Star blow up, I can watch the original trilogy. Like,
Listen.
If I really wanted to see that.
I saw the movie 3 times in theaters within like
I saw it.
72 hours.
I walked out and I was
Same.
like, I did not like this. I was so hyped and I was so disappointed.
I think I saw it 8 times total in theaters before it left.
3, but 3 is still a lot of times to see a movie in a theater.
Well, yeah, no.
Yeah,
the reason I saw it that many times was like it was still playing like well into January, and I went and saw it again a couple times for my birthday, just because why not? I went to see it with like different groups of friends each time too, like the other times. So, yeah.
If
anyone can empathize with that, you can, Cohron.
Yeah. Well, no, that's how I did. That's how I did Force Awakens. Like I went with the Ghostbuster group and Star Wars group the next day. Well, I guess Peacock was still technically there. And then he'd already bought tickets to a Friday afternoon showing, and I just remember like talking to my boss and being like, "Hey, my buddy has tickets for a Friday afternoon screening. I'm just gonna go with him." And she was like, "I get it."
Yeah. All right. What's next? Can we agree that Solo was terrible?
I'm out of the conversation on Solo because I've never seen it.
I liked it.
I thought it was cute.
I liked it. But it was one of those movies like as like Star Wars fans will know exactly what Han Solo's backstory was because we read about it.
Right.
So for the fans like that, we knew what was gonna happen every step of the way.
That's why I was bored, dude. I was bored the whole movie. The only things I liked was the Lando Calrissian parts because Donald Glover was amazing.
That it was.
He killed it.
I didn't think that it was boring because we saw his smuggling attitude. Like it did come out quite a lot, honestly, not just quite a bit, but it came out because prior he has, in the original trilogy, it's like, yeah, I'm a smuggler, I'm hot, but it really came out with Han Solo, and like it came out with his driving his.
I hated the acting.
It was good. In my opinion, it was very well done.
I didn't much care for Alden portraying Han Solo until like the last 20 minutes. I think the last 20 minutes is.
It's
really
like he got the hang of it. Finally.
Yeah, no, it really is, and it's almost jarring to see because this whole time, right? He's this scrappy kid trying to do what he thinks is best, but the last 20 minutes, it's
when he had acting lessons. You remember that, right? Yeah. They had a lesson person on stage or like on set with him for the last half of the recordings. So it makes total sense.
I think we only saw Classic Han at the end of the movie. Phil knows what's up. We talked about this a lot.
Oh yeah, that's true. We did talk about it a lot. So
yeah. All right. So can we put Solo as okay, like C tier?
I would put it as C, only because, as again, as Star Wars fans, like if you were bored with it, that's more, and not to like be insensitive about it, but that's your fault. You know what I mean? Like, the story, you knew what was going to happen going in. We just got to see it rather than imagining it.
So we're going to say Empire's S tier. I think everybody agrees with that. And,
yeah.
And
I agree.
We're going to collectively agree that's the best. So we can keep that there. So next let's do episode 1. I would honestly put episode 1 at C tier as well. I would personally rank it above Solo. Just again for like I love Qui-Gon. I actually enjoyed the pod racing stuff quite a bit.
I mean, I guess let's just put on this question. Do we agree with the midichlorians or not?
I think it was stupid for sure.
If we just base it on that, and because that was a huge premise of the movie.
Oh, it was dumb.
His midichlorians are out. Like it really screws up the story.
But again, the big positives is you get the Duel of the Fates. That whole sequence was amazing. The music was amazing there. The Qui-Gon is cool as hell. Young Obi-Wan was cool as hell with Ewan McGregor just absolutely knocking that out of the park. Darth Maul was a badass.
I would say even the political scenes in The Phantom Menace were more intriguing to me than the ones in Attack of the Clones.
Agreed.
How y'all feel about Jar Jar Binks, though?
Well, I didn't like him, of course, but it is what it is. He was there to sell toys and relate to kids.
I can see both sides of it. When I saw it, when it came out in theaters, I fucking loved him. He was hilarious to me. So funny.
What,
As
you were like
as an
7?
adult, I'm like, enough. But seeing it now, it's like, my God, this guy is a fucking buffoon. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I still remember liking him because I was a kid and he was funny to me.
So are we putting that C tier or D tier?
I'd say D tier, but I might be on my own on that one.
Just hold on, because I'm big about. I'm gonna say C.
Yeah, I'm gonna say C mostly because of Qui-Gon.
Do we rank it above Solo or behind it?
Above.
I leave that to you guys. I like Solo better than the Phantom Menace.
Because just from Duel of Fates, if I had to just base it on one thing that I absolutely loved.
Okay.
Duel of Fates.
All right. So that's 2 against 1 because Cohron doesn't have an opinion there. So
Cohron, I'm gonna fly over there and stick my finger in your mouth if you yawn again.
I said D tier for episode 1.
No, I'm talking about Solo. I'm talking about Solo specifically.
Oh yeah, Solo. I have no.
All right, let's just go down the trilogy line then. Episode 3. Do we think it's good?
I'm gonna say B.
Yes.
Because
I think
hold
it's
on,
good.
hear me out.
At least. Yeah.
At least a B, because at the time people did not like Hayden Christensen for playing his part, and now 20-something years later, we are praising him for playing such a good malicious role. And on top of that, even though the choreography of the lightsabers, like the dueling, was kind of tacky,
still one of the best lightsaber
it was still badass.
Still entertaining.
My biggest problem with this movie is Padme dies from sad.
Padme was a little bitch. I mean,
I get so mad about that.
She was whiny.
I hate that scene.
You have kids,
hold on.
bitch.
If you think about it, she was whiny the whole time.
Yeah, but not to the point where she's like, I'm just going to die. I don't care if I have kids. Whatever.
Oh, in episode,
in
episode 2, at least comparatively, in episode 2, she was a woman of action. She was like, no, here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
She was still whiny. She was still whiny, though.
For good reason.
Yes, I understand. But instead of taking action appropriately, she was whiny about it. Take the action and grab the bull by the horns.
I wish there was a B- tier, because that's where I would put episode 3.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
Yeah, it doesn't quite belong in it's good-ish, but in this tier, I like it. Where it's at, because
the lightsaber fights with both Obi-Wan and Anakin, Palpatine and Yoda, that was super awesome.
Yeah, even Grievous.
The space battles,
as short as
all
that
the
was.
scenes with the clones,
General Kenobi.
Start to finish, there's not one part of that movie I don't mind.
Yeah,
there's not one part of that movie I skip. Like in Attack of the Clones, I'll fast forward through all of
Agreed.
Anakin and Padme scenes.
I still get a little bit,
or need to watch that.
My heart goes a little oof when they execute Order 66. So
yeah,
for me,
sure.
that would be, for me, that would be like a B+, almost A, because it doesn't bore me watching it. Padme is a bitch, but I'm okay with it because the movie is solid.
Okay, can we agree that Rogue One and The Force Awakens are both S tier?
No. Only on the first part, but on the second part, The Force Awakens, I will say, I will vote
I think you're
against
going to get vetoed here, Ketsorin.
That's fine. We can veto. That's fine, but I did not like The Force Awakens.
All right. Cohron and Phillip, S tier for that?
S tier for Rogue One for sure.
Okay.
I'm torn between S and A for Force Awakens. I really enjoy it.
Phillip, be the difference maker here. You get to tie break it.
Oh boy. Well, I don't know if I'm going to tie break it the way you want, buddy. Because I would put Force Awakens as a B.
Whoa,
hang on. Not that
I am vindicated.
But as Ketsorin says, if I wanted to watch a New Hope storyline, then I would just go watch A New Hope. It's you meet a nobody scavenger in the middle of nowhere.
Yes, I get it, but
picked up on the Millennium Falcon.
But it was modernized.
We didn't need it, though.
It was modernized, and it was great.
It was modernized CGI and
Hope, I would go watch A New Hope.
Okay, we'll split the difference.
It was modernized,
I guess.
It was modernized,
okay.
But in my opinion, it wasn't needed. Look at all the Star Wars shit that we're getting, and it's different storylines, and look how we're eating it up. We didn't need a soft opening to see another Death Star blowing up. We honestly, like, Star Wars fans didn't need it, in my opinion. Like, we didn't need it.
I could
we
argue.
wanted it to continue.
Listen,
but that does not mean
I could argue about this all night, but we don't have all night. So we split the difference with A. But the next question I have to ask is A New Hope. Do we think A New Hope is better than Rogue One? I think absolutely it is.
Yes.
Yes. Oh yeah. A New Hope is absolutely S
So
tier.
we're saying that's S tier. Okay. And better than Rogue One. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. I got that. Wait, I think I got that backwards because we said that episode 2 was the worst, right? Okay.
Oh God, yeah.
All right. Next in the trilogy that we have it ranked is The Return of the Jedi. Where are we putting that?
B?
I would give it a B.
Okay. To me, it's an A.
Well, what about
but
you?
I think it's an A. I mean, people shit on the Ewoks, but I didn't personally have a problem with them. And like, there are some dumb scenes in that movie, but seeing the dichotomy between Luke and Vader and
for sure.
Oh my God, it's some of the most powerful stuff in Star Wars, maybe even film history. So
I think one of the reasons I don't rank it as high personally is the original concept for the Battle of Endor was actually supposed to be on Kashyyyk. It was supposed to be the Wookiees versus the Empire.
It was, yeah.
And so every time I watch Return of the Jedi, I think of that, and I'm like, this would have been so. It's good. I like the primitive aspect versus the technological might of the Empire, the weak rising up against the strong and triumphing over all evil. As a Star Wars movie, I think for me it would have been way cooler to see Wookiees eating the shit out of the Empire rather than Ewoks.
For sure. Sal brings up 2 good points, by the way.
I was going to say I was just about to say.
Yeah. So he said, if you like Baby Yoda, you can't shit on Ewoks. Preach. And then
that's a fair point.
And then he said, when the final battle is happening and the Ewok is trying to wake up his dead friend, it always gets me. Dude, I shed a tear every time I watch that. I'm not even kidding.
That's some sad shit.
So sad, bro. It has no business being as sad as it is because they're literally like puppets, but so
or kids in teddy bear costumes
or that, yeah. So were we saying it's B tier?
I would say B exactly for the reason I listed. I think of the idea that George Lucas originally wrote it for Wookiees, and I like that idea far better.
Can we agree it's better than episode 3?
I'm going to say it's going to be B tier only because I don't like the ending. I think it's tacky.
I mean, I don't know how she end it, to be honest.
So I'm
Ketzer, and it really is the good guys win.
It's tacky. Like, it's just like it's a weird tacky end scene. So I'm gonna say.
I mean, it was 1982, 83.
I can go into A tier. I'm fine with it. If we want to tip this off with a rock paper scissors, I'm fine with that. But I can go either way because it is a very good movie.
And saving the best for last, meaning the most polarized, because this is like what Star Wars fans have argued about for years now. The Last Jedi.
D.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. How come? Talk to me.
There's way too much fucking comedy in that movie. Like, there's way too much. A bad connection joke within the opening 5 minutes. John Boyega's character, like, walking around leaking water everywhere. The scene with Benicio del Toro would have carried a lot more weight if it had been Billy D. Williams instead of introducing this new character who's in the movie for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Killing off Captain Phasma in a very weak way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was just...
There's weird decisions.
Yeah, and, like, I'm cool with... I have no issue with Leia being Force-powered. But, like, the first time we see her use the Force, she's just flying through space. Like, I know a lot of people, like, love the movie. A lot of my friends love it. I do not.
So you think it's worse than The Phantom Menace?
No, I got outvoted on that. I wanted to put Phantom Menace on like an F.
Okay, fair enough.
I hate
think
Phantom Menace.
The Last Jedi, it's very like visually appealing, and like there's only a certain amount of scenes that are good, but I would rate it low. I
The
don't
Laura
know what it is.
Dern.
I'm gonna rate it lower than The Force Awakens because when I'm thinking about it,
Well, yeah, but
when I really think about it, there's a lot of plot holes.
whenever
there's a lot of questions.
There's a lot of plot holes, but whenever they ram the ship through the Imperial ship with light speed, that is one of the most stunning things I've ever seen.
I would agree. I cried on that. That was beautifully done.
Sal,
I thought that was one of the best. That was the best part of the movie. I sobbed on that.
Yeah. I thought that was
but
great.
I will rate it lower than The Force Awakens.
Also, the throne room scene with
very cool. Again, visually appealing, but no sustenance.
Well, and also I think it took a lot of and I think this was Rian Johnson. I think it took a lot of the stuff that people were like actually interested in from Episode 7 and just left it. Like the Knights of Ren. Like I really wanted to see more of those.
Dude,
and
tell me about it.
Oh. Like there was just so much from Episode 7 that I feel like wasn't capitalized on.
It was all about subverting expectations, and that was very frustrating.
Yeah.
It's cool if you do it like once or twice on certain plot points, but for everything to be subverted is very
for the whole fucking movie, yeah.
But again, like if you just take it out of which you can't, I get that. But as a standalone Star Wars movie, if you just took it out, I think it's a very good Star Wars movie. It's just a terrible trilogy movie. Like it's hard.
Yeah, but it's not The Last Jedi. It's Episode 8.
I know, man. I know. That's where I struggle with it. Okay, so Philip, what are your thoughts? You're quiet over there, buddy.
I'm torn because as I mentioned just earlier, and you just said it again, as its own contained movie, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
But if we're looking at the story, if we're looking at the whole story arc of the sequel trilogy, it is an ass movie.
Yeah.
I agree that the Canto Bight scene was unneeded. They went on this whole side trip just
literally for nothing.
Worse off where they were at. I agree the Captain Phasma wasn't killed in a respectable way, especially with what she was built up towards in The Force Awakens.
Yep.
Cinematically a gorgeous movie. I loved the lightspeed scene. I loved visually the Battle of Crate. It was super awesome. It looked really good. Duel in the throne room was really awesome. Even the island scenes between Luke and Rey were gorgeous.
Octu.
But that leads me to Luke. And Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi is not the Luke Skywalker we saw at the end of Return of the Jedi.
I get that, but I actually defend it because, like, I defend that decision for Rian Johnson because what else is Luke supposed to be? Why wouldn't he be curmudgeonous? All he's seen is the Force ruin things, especially his nephew. Like,
right, but even seeing the Force ruin all of those things and his life directly, he still chose to live with compassion and love for this undeniably evil person, thinking that everybody else was.
He just tried to become devoid of the Force, which I could respect that decision if like you've seen it corrupt so many, and like he was truly like a gray Jedi without them saying it.
But it takes away from who Luke was, which he was always. He always had hope.
I get it.
He always believed in the good of people.
Yeah.
And okay, so Chris, what was your opinion on this movie?
I gave it a D.
All right.
I absolutely positively gave it a D.
I said A. Cohron said B. What do you say, Philip?
I would say I would be okay with either A or B because there's I love a lot of stuff about it, but I also hate a lot of stuff about it.
So
But
I think the difference is B because Cohen was gonna put it at D. So do we think it's better than Revenge of the Sith or
No.
Return of the Jedi?
No.
No.
Phillip?
I would say Revenge of the Sith and Return of the Jedi are better.
I would say it's better than Return of the Jedi, not as good as Revenge of the Sith.
All right.
All right, everybody roll initiative.
No, I think that's where we split it. It ends up worse than both of those. So
Yeah.
maybe
I need to watch it again, but
So let's look at our final list here. So we've got the worst is Attack of the Clones.
Yep.
Then Rise of Skywalker. Then Phantom Menace.
Don't agree with that at all.
Then Solo. Then The Last Jedi.
Okay.
Revenge of the Sith. Return of the Jedi. The Force Awakens, which I don't agree with that at all. Rogue One, A New Hope, and Empire Strikes Back. So here's our final list for the viewers. So it goes like this in order. I did it backwards. So Empire Strikes Back, A New Hope, Rogue One, The Force Awakens, Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith, The Last Jedi, Solo, The Phantom Menace, Rise of Skywalker, Attack of the Clones.
A world where people think The Last Jedi is worse, they're better than Rise of Skywalker is baffling. Keep in mind, I've only seen each of them twice. The only one of that trilogy.
Then you have you hush. Shh.
The only one I go back to from that trilogy on any regular basis is Episode 7.
Same,
Boy,
actually.
I will legitimately divorce
That's
you.
actually the one I watched the least of the sequel trilogy.
Jesus, man. Well, we'll talk about this later in private, Phillip, and I'll have to try to convince you. But all right. So before we wrap up the show completely tonight, let's go ahead and get to our special announcement. So Cohron's here for a reason. So Bobby, Dakota, Paige and Panel, and I and Cohron launched a new network for content creators. And it is called the Nerd Want Network. Meaning if it's nerd you want, we've got you covered. So yeah, Friends with Benefits podcast is joining our network.
Yeah, we're still gonna stay under the Talk Nerdy to Me banner as well. But it's a good step. It's a good call. It's a smart call, and it's just kind of the right way to go for us. Especially being around I know the work you and Ketzer and Bobby are doing, and it's something I'm willing to put my stamp of approval on.
Hey.
Bobby will approve our work.
And I know that carries no weight at all, but if it wasn't something I actually had if it wasn't something I was ready to get behind, I would have been I think we're gonna pass.
Right.
But when you and Bobby came to me with the idea, I was like, well, fuck yeah, let's just I'm all on board for this.
So we are the founding fathers, literally. Ketzoran, you can be a founding father as well.
I was gonna say, I'm just writing, man. I'm here every week, and I love it, and I love you guys, talking to you guys, and giving you guys help. But hey, I'm a founding father. You guys heard it. He said so.
The idea of the Nerd Want Network is that we're gonna have our lanes of content. So Bobby does the manga reviews and anime reviews. We have our talk show with Nerd Bites Weekly. Friends with Benefits with Cohron and Flanagan. They have their horror / just general nerd lane, but podcast lane. We're looking for content creators that want to fill a lane in Nerd World, but we're not just going to take anyone. We want it to be good stuff. So And that's the idea, is like, we want the best to be in this network, and we think we have the best in these particular lanes. We truly believe that. We're not just blowing smoke up each other's arses. So yeah, welcome aboard, brother.
Yeah, happy to be here.
I'm happy to be working with you, Cohron.
Yay!
Nerd
I like
Want
calling you by
Network.
your last
Go
name.
check
I'm
it
gonna say
out
Chris.
on all socials. Nerd Want Network, at Nerd Want Network, everywhere. Twitter, Instagram. Give it a follow. We'll be posting whenever content drops in all these avenues. So on those socials. And yeah, Cohron, go ahead and end the show for us. Let everyone know where they can find you, and you know how to do it.
You can find us at Friends with Benefits on all major platforms where you find podcasts. Just look for the one of two guys' faces with a Jason mask in the background, and that's us. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at TN2MPodNet. And that's where you can find us. But don't listen to the other shit on the TN2MPodNet. Only listen to Friends with Benefits.
Hey, that's right.
Okay.
So yeah, who wants to take us out? Remember, you got to say until next time, stay nerdy. So who wants to do it? Phillip, you want to do it?
Until next time, stay nerdy.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, friends.